Hi, my name is Katherine Wang. I'm a four-year senior from the DC area, and today I will be presenting about some of the work I've done in the workshop. So one of the newest ideas I've been able to explore under our theme of democracy and dissent is that of digital democracy, which we've largely explored in the context of Wikipedia as a global and fairly accessible resource. To combat the growing inequities that arise out of our digitizing world, digital democracy is both promising and also deeply necessary. But just as democracy as we understand it is complex and with its limits, for example, looking at the case of the Emancipation Proclamation, which never would have come to be if we were in a true democracy, digital democracy too is extremely complex. Thinking about the physical materials in order to ensure this digital democracy, silicon and whatnot are rooted in resources from indigenous land. So this very much exemplifies the balance between democracy and dissent that we've been exploring. And along in that vein, I've also explored questions of settler colonialism more thoroughly. I remember hearing about no DAPL when I was younger and couldn't really quite understand what was going on. And that really reflects on my ability for innocence in that situation. So thinking about these questions of extracting natural resources from indigenous lands, settler colonialisms, those have all led to a lot of personal reward. So here is my Wikipedia project artifact. I worked on two articles. The first was the California Gold Rush, and the second was the American Frontier. Specifically, I was looking at gender practices during the California Gold Rush, inspired by a book that means a lot to me, which is How Much of These Hills is by CPMJ. So here I added the section, and we can see that new addition on the toolbar here in this top picture. And then I also added sources and various grammar editings to the American Frontier articles and with the Gold Rush articles as well. And to me, this relates to practicing craft because it really takes trial and error to produce something publishable. I tested stuff out in my Wikipedia sandbox, I went through other articles and I just dissected them. And even after initially publishing, I went back to edit. And this also goes back to another thing that I've learned, which is that we build knowledge upon the people who come before us, and we rely on each other for those resources. Wikipedia makes this very common fact extremely explicit, and that we can see other people's edits and history and what everyone has contributed both in articles and in talk forums. This makes me reflect on the unseen community and collaboration of our work, and it serves as a reminder to not take Wikipedia for granted. To that end, Wikipedia also examines that there is no finish, there is no finale, there is no ending. This community propels us forward to to find better resources and whatnot, even if there is no grand finish. And I think that spirit really speaks to civic engagement, that even though there's no easy ending, that there's no conclusion, that we can't all attain all the knowledge in the world, we still give back to our community and our peers. So thank you for listening, and I hope you learned a little bit of something about either digital democracy or using Wikipedia.